Welcome to the Rugs to Riches show. Grab a drink and get comfortable. The live show is about to start.
Merry Christmas, everyone. Hey, thanks for joining us on a special day. Listen, we've got Aaron in the house from All Things ETH. What is going on, buddy?
Hey, what's up? Thanks for having me, guys. Honored to be here. Love the show.
Oh, perfect. So I hope you had a good Christmas.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, everybody. It's been great to get through in real life, I actually work at a church, and so this is the busy time of year for me, and I do a lot of the production side of things, help with technology, kind of lead the teams. So I've got a worship team underneath me, I've got a production team underneath me, and an advertising team. So lots of meetings over the last couple of months, culminating in this last week. So what a relief to be done.
I bet. Yeah. Christmas can definitely be hectic for the church community.
Yeah, it's a good time, though. We had a great time.
I love the antlers, Goldwyn.
Thanks. I stole them from my son.
Yeah, I still have my hat over here. I jumped in the pool yesterday. It's a little bit wet, so it's kind of falling down here. Gotta let it dry out before I jump in again.
Yeah.
So Aaron, how did you get into crypto?
That's a good question. So I started in trading in the TradFi space. So I was really into trading options. I loved. So I kind of fell in love with some of the Bitcoin miner stocks actually previous to getting into Bitcoin, and kind of rode that wave up of the early part of the bear market in 2020 into 2021, and I bought my first Bitcoin and Ethereum in late 2020. Had no idea what I was doing, and but that started the journey, and it went on from there. I got into the play to earn space pretty heavily. Axie Infinity was a big play for me in 2021. I had about a dozen scholars at one point from the Philippines playing with the Axie NFTs that I had purchased, and was managing a bunch of them, and that was really fun to be in that process. You know, I probably would end up losing money in the long term because I was probably a little too nice. Gave them half my earnings. You know, when they're playing with my NFTs, they would take home half of what they made during the day, and had a great time. Met a lot of people. Actually, I still have a virtual assistant from that era that does all my. She edits all of my short for YouTube. So that's been a great experience. I got to DeFi through Axie Infinity. Actually, they opened up their when they launched their coins, AXS, you could stake, RON, you could stake, and you could do some liquidity providing on their pairs. And so that's kind of what got me into DeFi. And then I moved onto just about everything L2. So really involved with Arbitrum, got the airdrop. And been involved with some of the protocols over there, and then it's been a great experience. So
that's a big wrap of jumping from just getting into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and getting into that play to earn with Axie Infinity. That's one thing I miss out on, the play to earn narrative. How about you guys, AG and Goldwyn? Do you guys ever have any of the play to win or play to earn games and different products?
No, I never got into that. Like, I saw it, but I just didn't I missed that opportunity. I was really trying to get into Gala pretty hard, and I was trying to get into some of their nodes, but I missed those too. Theta is probably the closest I got to that genre.
Yeah. I almost got into that. I don't know. It's like a fake Earth 2. Is that what it was called? Yeah, I almost my projects that I got into. I looked
That's
into,
not true. That's not true at all. You got me into some. You got me into some rocket thing that I lost all my stuff. What about that?
You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. So miners. Yes, we did get into some miners, and those were that was a waste. It was for the first 10 minutes that they'd launched, they would just go out 404 message or whatever.
Oh, that's the worst.
Yeah, it was crazy. But yeah, but for actual DeFi projects, Drip and Elephant definitely have been the only ones that I've played around with besides the miners.
Interesting.
So Aaron, was that staking experience with Axie, was that the first time that you got involved with like staking and earning yield from like a crypto project?
Yeah, besides staking Ethereum, that was the first altcoin, if you will, that I was interested in staking. Staking Ethereum was possible on Coinbase at the time, so I was doing it there. I wasn't doing it on chain yet. So being able to stake on chain and then figuring out LPing and all these things was what got me into, I understood APRs. So I from the TradFi space, bringing it into DeFi, it made a lot of sense to, make more money on your money, right? So just stacking that ETH through APRs, either staking or AXS staking. AXS staking was at like 90% APR when it first launched, and it lasted a while. It was a good 6 to 8 months at 90% APRs, and it's still at like 30% APRs. So of course the token's worth a fraction of what it was, since we're just now getting out of the bear, right? But I'm still in it. I'm looking forward to that narrative coming back, because I think play to earn and GameFi will be a big narrative in 2024.
Yeah, that's really cool. Go ahead, AG.
Yeah, so you're saying it's going to be a big narrative next year. Do you have a project in mind that you're already, scoping out?
I'm probably bag holding a little too hard to the Axie narrative, but I think they've got it figured out as far as they had a lot of backing, VC backing in the last cycle, and I think a lot of that is still there. I think they've done the most innovation in the space, and because they've created the Ronin network, which is their ETH layer 2, or it's actually a sidechain of ETH, just similar to BNB, right? It was a EVM compatible chain. And so they made this gaming chain, and they've got a lot of sponsors, they made a lot of traction in the gaming space, especially in Asia. And so I do think they'll make another run. Now, you said Gala before. I do think Gala is a long-term play. I think they're the most well-known in the space. They've had some trouble the last couple of years. I know the founders had a little bit of a feud, so there was some issues there. Illuvium's a big name that still hasn't really proven. So I think a lot of people are hoping that pops off at some point. But there's so many in the space, it's hard to keep track. I mean, I've gotten more into DeFi these days, so I haven't stayed up to date on the play to earn as much. But I do think there's a good play there.
Have you heard of Big Time?
Yep, I have.
What do you think on that? I own about $3,000 worth of their.
Can you tell us a little bit about their project, Goldwyn? What's Big Time for people watching?
Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Don't know.
To be 100% accurate, I can't. I know that it was something that I was sort of following, and then they had this big sale, and I literally pulled off the road and aped in. And luckily, I got jammed up on my credit card, so I didn't put as much in as I was really trying to.
What's up with you and FOMOing while you're driving? I feel like it's not the
I know.
You pulled off the road to go buy.
He does a lot of driving, I guess.
I do a lot. Well, I used to. I work from home now, but I used to do a lot of driving. So I was, driving probably 4 hours a day. So, a lot of it just happened to be that's when the launch went, and I bought all their. It's called Space, I think, is what it is. It's from what I can remember, you build like ships with your space, and then it's kind of like a role play game where you get. I don't know. Aaron seems like he knows more than me.
Yeah,
sounds like
I've heard of it, but I don't know much.
I mean, listen. For as much as I have into it,
sounds like a big winner.
It is not. The last time I looked at prices, it was not. It was not as bad as Drip, but it was not good.
All I want for Christmas is some gains. Let's get a green market going. Let's the bull run.
Let's go. Come on. Yeah.
For real.
100%.
Listen,
So,
uh,
Aaron, sorry, AG, real quick. What about like
Yeah.
sand and what's the other one that
You know, I'm not a huge fan of metaverse plays, to be honest with you. I think they were a hype term, especially when Facebook changed their name to Meta. I think a lot of people jumped on that bandwagon. I mean, it could play out. The exclusivity thing with people, the elites trying to get their houses or NFTs or avatars or whatever into that space. I just don't know if it'll really take off. I think we'll have to see a lot of normies come back into the space in order for that to really be even interesting. I think those of us that are here are interested in, either in trading, whether it be coins or NFTs, or we're into DeFi and are looking for more sustainable gains. A lot of us have been burned, obviously, as we've already talked about. And we're hoping that that things like Elephant can be sustainable for the long run and become blue chips for us.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, which kind of go ahead, yeah, AG.
I was going to say, how did you find out about Elephant?
That was my question.
I beat you to it.
I'll keep it up.
That's a really good question. I think it was James Pelton's channel, and he was being he was interviewing SK and who's the other guy? CCC.
Mhm.
Yep.
So those two, like as they do about once a month, jump on James Pelton's channel, and I think I was on vacation, like on my way to Arizona this year.
Mhm.
Just had my headphones in while I was driving long hours with the family, and stumbled across his channel, and then found Elephant, and then like immediately was getting like hounded by the herd. I think 2 or 3 guys jumped on my Twitter and pretty active there, and I've had a YouTube channel for a couple years now, and they just saw that of what I do in DeFi, and they were like, "We need you in the herd, guys." So it took me a while. It took me about 2 months, which is a while in crypto, obviously.
Mhm.
And for me to ape in, bought some Elephant, got a couple NFTs, and then just have been playing around, dabbling in futures right now. I do have a plan to go heavy into futures in January, just to kick it off, and then that will coincide with some video content, hopefully.
So how does Elephant compare to like your ETH play, since your name's all things ETH?
Yeah, so I wish I could change my YouTube name to All Things EVM at least. Like, I don't know if I could go 100% in on Elephant and call it, like just cover Elephant. I think there's some great content creators in the space that already do that. But I do think I do hope that Elephant's a part of my portfolio for years to come. Honestly, I think it performed so well in the bear market that I'm excited to see it do just as well, or if not better, in the bull, and then be sustainable as well. And I think that's what futures is all about, really, and obviously, really the whole ecosystem.
It's something. Oh, you skipped on me. Do you think that's something that because we performed so well in the bear that we were where people were holding their money, and now that other things are starting to pop off, that could be part of the sell-offs as everybody's bouncing into the bigger plays, and then as things die off, you think it'll come back this way?
I do think that's part of the thesis right now. I do think that we're in a hype cycle at the moment. From what I'm seeing around, in my research, I do think we're going to see a little bit of sideways movement, possibly maybe after the ETF approval for Bitcoin, and if that occurs, I do think Elephant will perform well as BTC goes sideways. But if BTC rocks, just goes to the moon, and then all the like Ethereum and these sorts of things pop off as well. I think if Elephant in particular have a little bit of work to do just to get into a limelight, if you will, as it's kind of an underdog, and with the BNB stuff going on with CZ stepping down, I do think there's a little bit of a cloud over the space. I don't think it'll last long. I think AVAX is popping off right now, which is an all L1. I think Solana, obviously. Yeah, I don't have a lot of assets in any of those other L1s. So I do think because BNB is an L1, it should get a bid here pretty soon.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope we launch off to about 350 in the next,
Yeah.
probably by the end of January.
Yeah, and
Hopefully
Elephant's about 90% correlated with BNB, which for better or worse right now. So we'll see what happens there. I do hope to, and I do think it'll head in the right direction. I do think there's some FOMO right now, though, for other tokens. Those who are selling are likely jumping into to Bitcoin, Ethereum, these sorts of things.
So what are you jumping into?
Personally, okay, so here's my strategy, guys. Long-term strategy, just gonna lay it on the table. I am a ETH maxi, hence the name, right?
But I would have never known.
Yeah, never known. So I throw my ETH into lending protocols on Arbitrum and BNB, and I leverage using that. I get into some stable coins through those, and then I bridge them to wherever I need to. I'm personally, like I said already, I'm into Elephant. Got all assets in the coin itself, unlimited NFTs and futures, and recently got a little bit of Trunk to just play the Stampede thing or Trumpet. I can't remember which one, honestly. I'm a little bit confused coming into it a little bit late on the back end, and things are changing so quickly on that side of things. I'm having a hard time keeping up, but on the other hand, I'm farming airdrops. So on all of the L2s right now and some of the all L1s, there's a lot of airdrops to be had, especially as we, money is just going to flow into crypto in general. And I think a lot of the VCs are going to double down on investments there with, BlackRock and Fidelity and all these big names coming into the space with the ETFs. I think there's just going to be a crazy inflows. And so I do think the airdrop space is the place to be personally for me right now. So like I said, I'm putting all my ETH, I'm holding ETH like crazy, putting it all into, or not all, but most of it into lending, and then borrowing USDC, throwing that at some airdrops, farming. I'm into Friendtech, which is a social platform on Base Network. That's going to have a huge airdrop at some point, and it's like it's in the docs. Like we're not like hoping that there's an airdrop. There's going to be an airdrop. And things like Layer Zero, if you're familiar with that, they do Stargate Bridge, but also do a lot of the back end. So actually one of my favorite ways to bridge onto BNB is through Layer Zero protocols. So you can, if you're on the Ethereum chain or Arbitrum or any of the EVMs, you can cross-chain swap from any EVM to BNB with SushiSwap. So there's a little cross-chain option, and so you can cross-chain swap, USDC on AVAX or on or Arbitrum or something like that into USDT on BNB, and then obviously swap that to BUSD or BNB if you'd like. And I believe you can actually swap to just about anything on BNB through SushiSwap's cross-chain swaps. And so that's powered by Layer Zero, which is going to have eventual airdrop as well. So I'm using that to my advantage. I think it's super great to use, but it's also gives you some traffic on their protocols to give you some exposure to their possible airdrop.
Yeah, that's a great kind of intro to people who may not be familiar with airdrops as well. This is something that just by using these dApps and using these different crypto applications, wallets, different ones, they incentivize you by airdropping based off your activity. Even if you've just sent $10 through the app, you can get $1,000 airdrop. It happens very often. So I think that's some great content too, Aaron. If you have I know you're active on Twitter. I've seen some of your threads, and I know that's a great way for getting new eyeballs on both your content and just anything you promote. I was going to ask too, you mentioned Stargate Finance. That's something I really enjoy using as well. And you said SushiSwap was the one for the multi-bridge.
Yeah.
How about going forward into the next kind of upcoming months? Are there any other, airdrop alpha tips you would give for someone getting into the airdrop game?
There's a really simple one, Orbiter Finance, which is another bridge. They have a program with the Linnea chain, which is another L2 of Ethereum. That's, I believe, backed by Consensus or the company that made MetaMask. So you possibly could be double dipping there with the Linnea possible airdrop, and then Orbiter actually has some like their tasks that you're getting like O tokens or O points, I think they're calling them. So anytime you see something like points, you're likely to see and that DApp doesn't have a token yet, you're likely to see that transfer from a point to a token at some point.
Yeah, that's a great one. I think it comes to mind as well, like you mentioned with MetaMask, you can swap in the MetaMask app itself. And like you're mentioning, that might relate to an airdrop in the future from MetaMask themselves. Same thing with Rabby wallet. They have a swap internal to their wallet. Top of my head, there was something else, but it escapes me now. But these are all great ways to also learn, because just like as we talk about, all of us have our own crypto journey, and it all develops as we play around with different blockchains and we try different wallets, and all of that, builds our experience and allows us to make better decisions with our capital when it comes to investing in cryptocurrency. So all of those
100%.
are really helpful hence on getting more experience. Yeah.
So how do you find out about all these airdrops?
I spent a lot of time on Twitter and YouTube. Just search airdrop like on YouTube, and you're going to find hundreds of videos out there. And there's some great creators out there, but everybody's into it right now. It's kind of the current meta for those who are really big into the Ethereum and layer 2 DeFi space.
Yeah, see, I used to do that, and that's how I found some of these miners. And I was the first one in, and then I was a rug pull. So I don't know about searching out on YouTube.
What do you mean you were first in with the airdrop? Airdrop typically means that you drop it too. You don't got to go into nothing.
Well, I'm not clicking on stuff that just randomly falls in my wallet too, because that kind of scares me.
Yeah, typically it's like more like Aaron's mentioning, like these well-established dApps. They'll have announcements. If it's some shady Discord channel, don't be like AG and jump in and ape in. Okay, that's a risky play. Make sure you have a special wallet. Maybe add, press it a couple times. Go to like wallet number 18. Use that one for those crazy dApps. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't recommend enough using a hardware wallet too, guys. Like I have a Trezor that I use with my every transaction on the blockchain. I'm making sure that like nobody can take anything out of my wallet without having that physical dongle in their hands. So unless they like pry it on my cold, bloody, dead hands, like it's not going to happen. So of course you could be in something that rugs. Now that's completely different. As many of you know, there's plenty of applications out there that are going to hype up their possible airdrop, right, and then completely pull funds, and that's where it sucks. You got to be careful. You got to do your research. And for me, that's finding content creators that I respect and like, and know that they've been in the space long enough to see the red flags. I think if you just spend, before you invest in anything too much, like with too much, like again, don't invest what you can't afford to lose, right? So, so start there. Don't invest what you can't afford to lose, but then do your research and learn from those who have been here in the past, and then invest carefully, preferably with a hardware wallet.
Yes.
Well, and I think not aping in or FOMOing in is important too. It needs to be emotionless, right? I mean, that's do your own research, and just because it's going up doesn't mean it's going to, you're going to miss the boat. Right?
Yeah, I think the longer you're in the space, the better you get a feel for what could be a rug. And I do think you have an edge if you've been around long enough to kind of sniff things out. Like if something is being backed by a certain VC, that it's not going to be a rug. Like unless it's full on, just the docs are lying to you, but you're going to find that out pretty quick, and get confirmation if you're following the right people on Twitter.
So how many rugs have you been a part of?
Honestly, I've avoided them pretty well. There was a couple times that I was rugged because of exploits, because of the DeFi side of things being I spent a lot of time in 2023 investing staked ETH into a lot of different protocols, just trying to play that narrative, learn a lot about that narrative, and stack ETH on top of my ETH, right? So I ended up investing in one that's in Euler Finance, which got exploited. And so thankfully, I did get my Ethereum back. the Euler exploit was one of the few that was able to recover funds for the investors. But that was lucky. You know, the Axie Infinity space got exploited too, and because they had enough capital, you know, through all their investors, they were able to make everybody whole on that. But you know, being careful about cross-chain stuff, like, you know, the bridges were the big exploit last cycle, and lending protocols as well. So though I'm talking about those and definitely recommending you check them out, like Orbiter airdrop and Stargate airdrop and these sorts of things, you do have to be careful out there. And again, don't invest anything you can't afford to lose.
Yeah.
Did you get caught with Celsius or any of those?
Yeah.
The only money I lost with those sorts of things is I believe I was trying to trade things on the way down. I was playing the volatility play and trading volatility on I think it was Loon C or Luna on its vast decline, but it was so volatile. I thought I might jump in. I think I made like $200-300 on one leg, and then immediately lost all my investment, like on a downturn.
Yeah. Do you do any like day trading or anything with the crypto, or do you do long-term investing?
I'm definitely more of a long-term guy these days. In 2020, I was actually pretty much full-time day trade because I lost my work dried up. Like I said before, I work in a church, but a lot of my clients are video clients. So I started my own company in 2009 doing video production. And because of the pandemic, nobody wanted to shoot any video. You know, getting in proximity to anybody didn't matter, right? So, so I went full-time day trade, and I was grateful to have a chunk of change that came as a part of an inheritance check, and I traded that for the first 6 months of 2020 and cut my teeth pretty hard. Like I was day trading some before that, but I really jumped in full time, as that's all I could do to make money at the time besides some stimmy checks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. I think I have a little bit of experience too, like that, where I was very interested in like trading when the market's so volatile, Bitcoin's going on a run, and all these altcoins are having their own sort of bull run, and it's very enticing. And then, like you mentioned, you might make $300, $400, $1,000 in a day. Markets are so volatile, and it's very, you know, if you're an awesome trader, God bless you, and I hope you make all the money in the world. But it helped me out when I found, you know, quality DeFi projects like Elephant.money and other such as it. And it helped me find out that, hey, you don't have to be actively managing, you know, risk and positions in this. I can take my funds, park them somewhere, and earn these high yields. And that was one thing I wanted to bring up too. You know, since we're talking to All Things ETH, you know, one cool strategy that I've heard people use with Elephant Money, they'll use Venus to lend out their ETH. So let's say you have, you know, 5 ETH, you have $10,000 of Ethereum, right? You can lend your 5 ETH on Venus, right? Take, you know, a small loan, maybe 30% loan to value ratio. So maybe take $3,000 against the 10,000 in ETH, start a futures account, use that to compound. And now the, you know, the interest you're making from your futures account outpaces that of the Venus account. You can take your, you know, take your interest, buy more Ethereum. You can use that to stack more ETH while we still have this, you know, intro to the bull market. These are all great ways to like get set up, and that also provides you a bigger and bigger position to, if you need to take debt against or take profit. So that's just something, you know, I wanted to mention, how to print ETH using Elephant Money, you know, take advantage of futures and use that arbitrage of the APRs to pay yourself and grow your bag of ETH. Yeah.
That's how we actually got hooked up talking with Aaron, was Crypto XR. Shout out. I heard Aaron talk about Crypto XR on his channel, and then he happened to reach out to me on Discord. So he has a pretty good.
Did he reach out to you on the FUD channel?
No, he direct messaged me actually.
Oh, okay.
But can you talk about Crypto XR?
Yeah, I think it's you can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, cool. So it's KR, Crypto KR. Yep. So CryptoKR, he and I have actually been messaging each other for most of 2023. He found me, I believe, in the Arbitrum space in a Discord, doing some DeFi stuff. He's a big fan of GMX. So if you haven't heard of GMX, it's the biggest DApp on the Arbitrum network. It's a perpetual DEX. So it's for traders, right? So it's leverage trading up to 100x leverage, crazy, leverage if you want to go there. Don't recommend it. But on the other side of the equation is you can provide liquidity to GMX so that people can leverage, and you make the earnings. You're the casino house, right?
You could be the house.
So,
yes,
exactly. So I love that, especially in the bear market, as a lot of people were losing money. The APRs were skyrocketing on the liquidity provider side, and both myself and CryptoKR were big into the GLP. Now, what we both did we were big into looping that GLP. So there was a application called I can't remember the top of my head. It's currently not working. They're working on V2. They ended V1 and are taking their time to open V2. But they were giving you the chance to loop the GLP APR inside of their application, and it was you put all of your eggs in their basket, and you could actually borrow more than you had in collateral. It was kind of degen. Although it was pretty safe because they gave you because all of your collateral was on their program, you couldn't take it off and you couldn't run away with the collateral. Or the borrowing, so you could borrow more than you actually had in your wallet. And we were making like, I don't know, it was like 300-400% APRs during really good GLP weeks. I mean, I probably had $10,000 of my own GLP in there, which is GMX LP token. When it would go up to like 60% APR, you could leverage that up, 5x inside of Sentiment was the name of the DApp. And we were making I was making like $400, every couple of days in Ethereum too. So even during the lows of the bear market, I mean, when Ethereum was like at $1,200 to $1,500, I was making $400 in Ethereum every couple of days. Yeah, it was insane.
Is that still going on right now?
Sentiment currently is not in production, so they got exploited, unfortunately, on the lending side. It wasn't on as when you brought your GLP in order to leverage it, you had to borrow USDC on their platform, and the USDC liquidity providers got hacked, and they did make everybody whole, but they kind of tarnished their name a little bit, and they decided to shut down V1, and they're currently working on V2. So when that reopens, though, I'll let everybody know. I think it was a great opportunity, and I think they'd have to find some other LP to work with. GLP, as in GMX's GLP version 1, is not making quite the APRs now that we're seeing the bull market run, because people are earning. They're making, their longs are winning right now because the market's going up. So we'll see what happens with LPs in these perp stacks space. So.
Yeah, one you're mentioning, right, everything's pumping. One kind of degen play that's on my radar, not recommended, not financial advice, but oftentimes when we do have these sustained runs and there is that inevitable pullback, and these sort of exchanges, both centralized exchanges and stuff like GMX, these DeFi exchanges, they print millions of dollars all in one night because of them liquidating all of these open longs. And oftentimes, by the dip, that's the best time to easily, turn a profit. So I might be looking for some big dips. When you see those headlines that, $1 billion, whatever it is, $100 million liquidated overnight, those might be some buying opportunities and times to get long or times to get in position. So definitely keep an eye out. Try not to buy the top. Don't FOMO. But definitely will be a lot of opportunities as we enter the full bull market.
Yeah, I personally watched Ethereum go from 2,000 to 4,000 twice in the last cycle and didn't sell a thing. So, I watched my account go from 100,000 to to double that twice and didn't take a bit of profit off the top. So highly recommend taking profits, guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do you regret that now, or?
I do in some cases. I do, especially in the Axie Infinity space. I was up, probably $20,000 in that space on my investment and didn't take profit when I should have. I got too deep into the DeFi space where I was playing more of the APR game and hoping that it would last longer than it did, and I got burned.
What's a really cool kind of feature of Elephant Money, just to bring that back, is it being the bank of DeFi. Is, when you have these big wins, hey, I made $10,000 in this short burst, right? You can now put that into something like NFTs, where now you're making, high yield on a token that's going through a supply shock. So you can use NFTs, you can use that for your futures. And you can, basically, I personally really like using multiple wallets. Me and AG always get into this. I feel like AG is the type of guy, he has a checking account and that's where he pays his coffee in the morning and his mortgage and his kids' private school. I feel like you're coming out of one account. I'm just throwing you under the bus right now. No, but, I was mentioning it's good to hide money from yourself, have different accounts for different reasons, your vacation account, your kids' college account, whatever it is. Because why? It doesn't enter your mind space. I don't have that money. It's allocated towards some other purpose. And I think that's just once Elephant Money has these great cash flow products, and you'll be able to build those up, for the inevitable downturn. Because unfortunately, no one sells at the top. No matter what that guy on Twitter tells you, he got a little bit burnt too, if not a big munch. So definitely good advice there, Aaron. I like that.
Yeah, Zach's got like what, 14, 15 different wallets.
I use my fingers and my toes.
I'm down to 2. So just like he said, I got one that I do all my trading on, and I got another one that's like my savings. That I don't touch it. Yeah. So there's too many. I don't need to remember all those. I just need 2 and just be safe.
Get one to hide away for baby for AG in the future, right? Yeah.
But Goldwyn, I think he's got a wallet that's not even working anymore. What would you say last week? You said you don't even use seed phrases.
No,
like your wallet's so old.
My first wallet was 2018, January 2018, which was my Ethereum wallet. So Mu, and it was private key. It wasn't seed phrase then. So
private key. Never even heard of that. That's how old you are. You're old.
That is. My bad.
Have you heard of that, Aaron?
What in particular? I'm sorry.
Of that type of wallet, or you don't use seed phrases, you use private key, or what would you call it?
Yeah, so you have public key, your public key, and your private key. So actually every Ethereum wallet has that functionality. So when you look into your MetaMask, you can either export your private key, your public key, or your seed phrase. So I know I'm not sure about the Bitcoin space. I haven't spent a lot of time in BTC land, but I understand that that's just seed phrase. But with the Ethereum and EVM chains, you do have the ability to if you get issued a wallet by a DApp, or if you get issued a wallet by, say, Binance or Coinbase or something like this, you can send out your private keys and be able to have a little bit better self-custody over those, because you own the transaction space. Like you can create, it might be assigned to you by them, but you can like operate it yourself through exporting the private keys and making sure that you have access to that, even if they were to go belly up or something like that. So, and then the public key is I'm not really sure. I can't remember the last time I've used that. I think that's helps maybe with some transactions between wallets, so like with dealing with other people. Like you could give, I'm not really sure why, because I can give somebody my Ethereum address and they can send stuff to me. So I don't remember exactly why we use the public key, but the private key is just as valuable as your seed phrase. It's the same. It's the same concept. You can either do your whatever 12 word seed phrase, or your private key looks a lot like an Ethereum address. Yeah. So your public key is the same as your is your address. So
we'll give AG a little
there's
touch up,
signs.
a catch up. He's not the brightest on our of the crew. No, I'm just playing.
I'm the newbie.
I was gonna
awesome.
ask you, Aaron, if you could go back in time and shake young Aaron on the shoulders, pick the beanie hat up and put it back down on, what would you give? What one piece of advice or wisdom would you give him in relationship to crypto or investing as a whole?
I think that's a good question. On the investing side, I would have stayed in Tesla for a little bit longer. I bought a bunch of Tesla right before the pandemic started, and though it tanked, I was in a good position, and I would have rode that out to multiple $100,000 investment, and then I would have brought that all into Ethereum, and just stick the heck out of it and sat and probably cashed out just revenue or APRs. But no, I think I would have gotten into Elephant a little sooner. Honestly, I think the herd is amazing. Not just to talk it up because you guys talk about it, but I mean the community is amazing. The fundamentals are sound. I would have loved to got in Elephant, maybe post exploit, like right after the exploit, or even before, honestly, and just rode that and learned from it, and then DCA'd throughout 2022 and all of 23. So I like what BT does. I think he's one of the most outspoken devs that I've run into. Most of the devs that I see in the DeFi space are anon, and honestly, like most of them are college students. Believe it or not, it's crazy. Like a lot of the devs, and they're fantastic and they're super smart. But you never know who's on the other side of that DApp, guys. And to see BT and his pedigree, to be able to trust in what he does, because we know his, if you do a quick search, you can find his home address. Like it's not that hard. And to be able to know like that this guy's a real guy with a family and he lives in the US and he shows his face and he rants, but we love it. We love hearing his thoughts, and he doesn't, talk too much behind closed doors, so that, and then rug us. So
yeah, for sure. So what is can we get a little bit more of a detailed strategy for Elephant for your own personal?
Yeah. So I've actually made a video on this that in 2024, I hope to put about $20,000 into futures. And then by the end of 24 into 25, I should be able to actually pay all my bills with my futures account. So that's my hope. I think with I think it was a 20 and 10 strategy. So 20-day compound, 10-day, what do you call yep. Claim. So 10-day claim after 20-day I'm sorry, I can't.
We got you. 20-day compound, 10-day claim. I got you.
20-day compound, 10-day claim. I've mapped that out with some of the multiple calculators out there, and I do think my bills right now. I mean, I live in the Midwest in a modest house, got a couple cars, 4 kids at home, wife who works part time.
Oh man, you're getting after it.
Yeah, it's been a good time, man. It's been a good time.
You're a better man than me. That's
I've got 2 kids, and
he needs a pump. We got 4 mouths to feed.
Yeah, there we go. So I have a good income, and I don't plan on retiring early. I love what I do and everything that I do. So I plan to make content here. I plan to service some clients, still work at my church. But at the same time, I would love to not have to take an income from maybe the church or something like that, where I could just give them my time instead of taking a paycheck from them. And I think I can do that. Like $12,000 a month is what I'm ramping up to. If I put 20,000 into futures in January, by next January, I should be able to claim after just 10 days about $12,000 every single month. And that should cover all my basic bills.
That's awesome. So until then, you're putting 20 grand in January, and then are you doing 200 every week, every 2 weeks, once a month?
Yeah. So
Plan.
like I said, it's 20-day compound. So $200 after 20 days, and then claiming after 10 days. So
Oh, I thought you were doing that in January of 2025. I thought you were going to go a year and then do that.
nah, right away. Right
Oh,
away,
okay.
going to start because actually Crypto KR just got me on this specific plan. He actually, and he told me I could say this, so I'm not out of place here. He took out a loan for 200 grand, put it all into futures. And within the first month, he's doing the 24/4. So 24 compound 4 claim. He was able to pay off most of the interest of the entire year for his $200,000 loan with his first claim.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I believe the first claim is actually in the second month. So he compounded his first month, did 20 days into the second month, and then 4 days later he was able to claim enough to cover his entire interest for that year.
That's crazy.
So crazy.
Yeah.
We need to. I actually asked him to come on the show too, because I watched your video and I was like, dude, this guy just messaged me on Discord because he watches the show, and so I messaged him back. I said, hey, dude, I'd love to have you on, and you can just. He's like, oh no, he's like, I'm good. But he said he would reach out to Aaron.
He's a great guy, man. He's in the medical field and does a lot of investing. And just loves DeFi, but throws everything, like all his weight, into one thing at a time. Doesn't have enough time to, like I'm spread out all over the place. I've got, airdrop farming probably 6 different protocols right now. I'm on the team of one protocol in Arbitrum. I'm a mod for a Discord and a larger one on the Arbitrum network. I do a lot of content, obviously, 2 to 3 videos a week for YouTube, and I have a full-time job, multiple income streams. And I don't like, he's like, I work 12 hours a day and I can't do more than just one project at a time. So, in 2023 it was all, or early 2023 is all GLP. And looping that GLP, and now he's 100% elephant. He's got a huge stack of coins, the elephant money token, and then he's got I believe it was either $100,000 or $200,000. I'd have to look back at his wallet, but I actually know what his wallet address is, but I'm not going to share it here.
So are you going to be heavier in futures or in elephant token by January?
I will be heavier in futures than I will be in elephant. I have currently, I want to say I only have about $3,000 in elephant right now. I did have a larger position, managed to take some profit right at the top, right at 57 millionths, right, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And when we hit, I do a little bit of TA on the side to check trades and stuff. I know BT would hate to see me say this, but I did sell at the top of where the exploit was, happened back in 21.
Yeah.
So as we approached that, I felt like taking a little profit off the top, sold about half my elephant stack, and have taken most of that profit and bought back. So, but I think I only have about 3, and I bought NFTs with that and started a futures account.
Gotcha. Now, did you take profits because you're like, okay, we're getting back to all-time highs and people are going to take profits, so I might as well shave a little off the top? Or did you have some inside knowledge that there was going to be a big dump?
I did not have any inside knowledge.
Would you be lying to me?
I would not be lying to you. Like I said, I work for a church, man. I can't be.
That's a good.
My word is my bond, brother. And I would be lying if I didn't add this part of the story. I don't know if any of y'all are believers, but man, I've gotten some words of wisdom from above, and just gotta say, like, every once in a while I get little like, hey, you should sell now. So at 57, it also, it happened to match up with the top of the exploit. So that was a little extra confirmation there. And that number came in and I heard sell half. So I sold half, and it went well for me. I'm sorry to those who, who are not in profit at that point.
Yeah, I just got to ask because, the number 2 holder sold his bag, and I keep asking who's the number 2 holder, and no one seems to know. Somebody's got to know who the number 2 bag was.
Somebody's got to know. Somebody's got to know. I'm not going to play the politics. I'm not going to ask around. I'm just not into that. Like,
and it wasn't a bad
spreading.
Deal,
yeah.
No cell shaming. I mean, it's fine.
The
just
biggest thing is
investigator.
Aaron, you started in TradFi too, so from a TradFi perspective, that is a human level, right?
Right.
And so, coming from that background, human nature is that this is where a natural sell-off will occur, and it did.
Exactly.
And humans
100%.
were being human. So I know that we've been told, oh, you can't TA elephant. Well, that's not true. I've been charting it for the last, I don't know, couple weeks, and Fibonacci works. We're hitting the Fib levels exactly. I mean, it's bananas.
Yeah, even though we have that 10 in, 10 out sales tax, essentially, right? You still have TA because people are human. Humans are going to trade the way they trade, and you can. It's going to be less. There's going to be less sellers, because of that sale tax or that fee or whatever you want to call it. But we're still human. Like, I'm seeing resistance right now. We can't pop back above 33 right now. So I hope to see that break. I think we're in a downtrend. I think it's possible we see that turn around because of, like I said earlier, a little bit of sideways movement in BTC, and that could pop us off again. Mm-hmm. That FOMO into BTC was probably pretty big for a lot of people. And if you're in Elephant, you're probably on chain, and you're probably seeing a lot of alts pop off. AVAX and a bunch of other tokens out there. I keep saying AVAX because it's top of mind, but
what's your distaste with Avalanche? You don't like
Oh no, I don't have anything against it. I just it's pumped like crazy.
Goldwyn was doing a thumbs down.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I didn't see it.
You have any comment, Goldwyn, on that?
Well, AVAX actually locked my MetaMask, and I lost a wallet because of it, because I couldn't get it unlocked. Now,
did you call their tech support? Did they tell you to turn it off and turn it back?
Yeah, to be fair, it's 100% my fault because I didn't have the seed phrase backed up anyway. So while it was AVAX's problem, it was my fault. So I don't blame anybody but myself. It was a learning experience. And 10 years in the future, that's going to be a very expensive learning, but that's how you learn, So.
Right.
Well, let's just a full transparency. It's not December 25th right now when we're recording this video. So hopefully the price is going to be above the 33-cent mark, like you were saying that we're having resistance. And you were speaking some truth. Earlier today, I'm looking at my Cardano, used to be Cardano bag, and I'm like, man, I bought that at 25 cents and sold it at like 28 cents because I got tired of it, and I ended up buying Elephant. It went up, didn't take profits because I'm not planning on taking profits. Let's just be clear. Not until, we 50x from now. That's my plan. But now I'm seeing Cardano go up, and I'm like, dang, I don't have a Cardano bag because I sold it all for this. But yes, I'm waiting for the day. Waiting for the day for BNB to start pumping and seeing the Elephant go and break all-time new highs. Hopefully by my birthday, January.
Yes.
The end of January.
We're right back. So I sold a house recently. Well, it's not recently anymore. It's been 4 months. And so I was debating on where to put that money too. And, I talked to these people and because I was thinking futures or this or that. Well, it was, we're going up 2 or 3% a day. So just throw it into Elephant, which was good because I threw it in. It was August. I forgot. Whenever I went back and did my average buy, it was 34 cents. So once I actually got the money, because it took me a long time to get the money through security. And so same thing at the top, I looked at my wallet and I was all like, man, I should probably, take some of this off because I know that I'm going to be buying a house soon, and I didn't. And now it's back to where it was. I mean, I haven't lost anything, and I don't plan on selling anytime soon, but that same thing.
Goldwyn was texting me a couple of days ago, and he was like, "Bro, it took me like what was it, 14 days to no more than 14 days. How many days was it to get it onto the Elephant platform to get it off Robinhood?"
It was about 20 days total from the time I got the money to the time I actually got it all into.
So he goes, "It took me 20 days to get my funds onto Robinhood and then off Robinhood to his wallet to buy Elephant." And in that time span, he lost that on like, what was it, 100 billion tokens that he could have bought because the price kept going up. Well, then the price dropped back down. So if he would have just waited, he could have bought back in.
Yeah, from day one, if I would have had the full amount to the time I ended, it was like $15 or $16 or $18,000 higher over that 20 days. But then now, it was the same thing. I was all like, man, well, now I'm back to where I was. So I guess I should just buy in because it's actually a little bit lower than that last buy. So,
yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any plans, Aaron, moving into 2024? You mentioned Trunk. You don't know too much about, or Trumpet. Is that something you're interested in learning more about and maybe getting a bigger Trumpet position to start earning maybe like that cash flow side of the Elephant Money product line?
Yeah, it's interesting to me because I do like to trade, APRs in particular, and that's probably the most, I hate to say traditional DeFi because that makes it sound weird because it's not traditional yet. But that's what I typically do in most of the applications that I work with is farm, APYs. So so it does make sense. I think I like where Trunk is at as far as like an investment goes because it is low right now. I'm not as familiar with Trumpet, so I got into it just because of the APR. Like I was like, hey, let's try this out. I think the dashboard sent something like 90% APR. It's like, let's give it a shot. I like I said, I bought Trunk really low, so in my opinion, at least, it's low. I don't know. I haven't really been tracking it. I know it used to be pegged to $1 and hasn't been since the exploit, and now is, I think I bought it at like 20 cents per. And so, just a small bag right there, just trying it out. It could be something that moons at some point. It's kind of my general gamble with smaller investments is like, hey, the risk reward ratio is pretty high on this, so let's give it a shot, and get some APR in the process.
So I know you got to leave here pretty soon, go pick up your son. But before we let you go, do you have any price predictions? I know people don't like to give out price predictions, but come on, man, it's fun. It's crypto.
It's Christmas time. Come on, give us a present.
It's Christmas. Give us a Christmas miracle.
Christmas miracle. Okay, so what do you want to know? Bitcoin, Ethereum, the whole, Trunk.
Give me your top 5 coins and make sure Elephant's one of them.
Okay, well, I do expect Elephant to get back to all-time highs, in the next 6 months minimum. Like
6 months. That's a give me.
Yeah, I know. I'm conservative. Let's put it that way. I'm pretty conservative.
I am too. I'm on your team, Aaron.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Zach. So Ethereum will hit all-time highs, I believe, in 2024, and we should see 10,000 to 12,000 by the end of 2025 in Ethereum. Bitcoin, I believe, will hit 120,000, and all of these I think are probably pretty conservative, guys. So obviously not financial advice, do your own research. Elephant Money, I do see doing really well as people see the value of a crypto bank, and the mechanisms are sound, and the team behind it are doxed, and as long as the BNB chain is healthy, and which I do think it will be, we'll see some gains there. Beyond that, guys, who knows? There's so much new going on. I'm not a big Solana fan. I'm not a big, Alt1 fan, although there will be some airdrops there that I'll be checking out. But I'm big on ETH, big on, I think Bitcoin, possibly the next 10 years could be a world reserve currency, and that would be massive, obviously, for the entire space. So I'm only going to give 3 because I don't want to get into any more coins. But
That's
yeah,
fine.
conservative estimates: BTC 120, ETH at 12 K, and Elephant easily hitting all-time highs within the next 6 months.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Appreciate what you guys do, and love how you, keep it simple for those who are getting started. And that's one thing I have a hard time with. I get too in the weeds too quick, and I think you guys do a great job of helping people understand the basics, and but then getting them into things that are a little bit more complicated. So, great job, and keep it up, guys.
Thanks. I appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Aaron.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, guys.
All right. Later. Wow, that was really fun talking to Aaron from All Things ETH. He's a pretty interesting guy to, I didn't realize that he was, working out of church. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, you
Man,
got
I'm
me
gonna have to go
motivated
back
to look more into the airdrop farming, because that's something I've been
Mhm.
slacking on. I don't know if that's what you're going to mention too, Goldwyn, but there is so much
100%.
opportunity coming into a bull run. This is when people are trying to incentivize users to their protocol, to their blockchain. So definitely some good alpha there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just to say I'm gonna have to go back and watch our own recording 2 or 3 times just to let that stuff permeate through my brain. Like it was really cool to talk to somebody that had that much knowledge.
It was. All right. Well, let's get into the markets. Let's go look at some charts. We've got a new segment out for you guys today, premiering tonight. It is Goldwyn's little segment, and he's going to show us the trends of the coins. So let's get into it.
Now let's take a look at the charts and see how the crypto market is looking this week with Goldwyn. This is Money Lines on the Rugs to Riches show.
All right, show us what we got. What's going on here?
Oh, am I starting over or am I just going on?
Going on right now.
All right, cool. All right, guys, this is Bitcoin. Bear with me. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever charted for other people. I would not call myself a pro. I do understand support and trend lines. And we're on the 1-day chart here for Bitcoin. This chart goes all the way back past 2020. So this is our double top.
Oh, we got some
You can see this
lagging.
yellow. What?
Some buffering or something.
Lagging?
Do you hear that, Zach?
Yeah, I hear that on my side too.
My computer does say I have high CPU usage for some reason.
It's about to blow up.
I don't know why. Is it back?
No, it's back. It's good. So what today is what?
So this
What's today? Today is
December 13th, 2023.
Wednesday the 13th, and we're premiering this. Yes, this is
December
premiering
25th.
on Christmas 25th. So let's see if your predictions are right, if they come true.
All right,
Pressure's
sounds
on,
good.
buddy.
Well, it's all good. So we have this. This is the long term. This yellow line right here. This is the long term downtrend in Bitcoin, going back all the way to December 2020. Right. So as you can see, our line. I'm pointing my screen like you guys can see me. So you can see how this line hits a couple different trend line. And then what you can see right here is when we broke out with volume, this big run up here, that means that we actually broke this sustained downtrend. And this red line that I've drawn here is kind of the current uptrend that we're right here was bottom. Then we had a higher low and a higher low. And this is the fourth higher high. So we had, here's your high, and you had a higher high, then a higher high, and then a higher high. So we're now in a sustained uptrend. Now, this big level that you really want to see Bitcoin break is this 47,000, because that's the biggest support of those top lines there. If we break through 47,000 and then hold it as support, now we're going to see that's where we're going to go past all-time high. So my prediction for Bitcoin is going to be, why does that say it's April? That's weird. Hold that part out. So I feel like we're going to, by December 25th, we're probably going to come back down and retest this line. So my call is December 25th. We're going to be roughly 39,000. That's my call on Bitcoin. December 25th.
39,000 on Christmas Day.
We got Bear Goldwyn saying that the price is gonna magnetize to the yellow line. Let's see if it comes true. Is 39 coming on Christmas morning? Are we on the naughty list this year? Let's find out.
I don't feel like it's Bear because we're definitely in an uptrend. So that would just come back and retest that line. That would still, the problem would be if we broke that line and came all the way down to this rate.
All right. So we're putting a long at 39,000 on Christmas.
I would.
If it touches it,
not financial
I can see that being support. Yeah.
Yeah.
And would you say, Rogue, last little point here, do you think that this is now, a confirmed bull run now that kind of yellow and red line have now changed to an uptrend?
100%. Unless we break this red line right here and then come back and support and go down, until we break this red line, we're in a bull market for Bitcoin. So we can even come all the way back down to 33,000, or 31,000. As long as we're not breaking the red line, we're still in an uptrend, and that would create a higher high. So at some point in time, we are going to come back into, whether we're crabbing sideways and we hit this red line, but at some point in time, we're going to hit this red line and bounce again,
So that would be a probably really good longing opportunity to go long if we do, in fact, retrace to that red line.
Yep.
A major support.
I would agree with that.
All right. Next up.
So we have two uptrends that we're monitoring. So we have Ethereum. So Ethereum, this is going all the way back to our high, which was in December of 2021. And as you can see, from December 20, we've been a sustained downtrend. Right now, again, as we talked about on Bitcoin, we had a low, a higher low, a higher low, and another higher low. Right, so you can see this sustained uptrend since June of 2022. Now we go up, we come back down, we go up, we come back down. The cool thing about this chart, this is a Fibonacci retracement. If you're not familiar with that, and how we did, we drew this based off of the top of Ethereum and then the bottom that we made. And what you can see here is it creates bands. And these are bands based off of human emotion and based off of the Fibonacci sequence. And as you can see, once we bounced off this trend line, we ran right up to this 0.38. And what do? We hit it, and human nature. That's a sustained resistance zone. So as you can tell, we hit it and we bounced off it. Now we can do one of two things. You can see that the bottom of this 0.23 line is huge support. So back down and hit
a lot of audio lag. Are you
more likely we would bounce off of?
Maybe. What if we stop this recording? Can we start a new one and add it together? Would that make a difference? I didn't know.
Let me pause it. Let me pause this and then exit out of the other screens that you have open that we're not going to talk about anymore. And then see if that helps with your.
So again, on Ethereum, we could come back down to this 1800 level and bounce off that before we break this 2400 level. If we're going to do a price prediction, I would say Ethereum's probably going to be 2100 probably Christmas Day.
2100 by Christmas.
Yeah, it's probably going to come down a little bit because we ran up. So that's my prediction for Christmas, 2100.
Okay, 2100 for ETH. You guys heard it first. Let's see if it comes true. Leave a comment.
All right, so next up on the list was that's Ethereum. Are you guys seeing Trunk?
Yes, we can see
Yep.
Trunk.
Okay. So Trunk, as you know, once Trumpet started, we fell from 20 cents, and that's over here. We hit an all-time low of 7.7 cents, and then it immediately bounced. As you can see that, right here, bounced all the way up to that 11 and a half cents. It made a local high. And then we came down and we hit this red line here, which is at 9.6 cents, and made a higher low. And then we went back up. We hit, again, 11 cents and bounced off 11 cents. So that created our ceiling. So you can see the ceiling I mark as green, because what we want to do is we want to break through that ceiling and then hold it as support. Once we do that, then we'll be off to the races back to that 20 cents. Because between 20 cents and 11 cents, there was no trading volume. So that's just like open air. It's like hitting a new all-time high, but the next support level would be that 20 cents, or next resistance level, I should say. Mm-hmm. So you can see on here, I have a couple different colors. The yellow line being our immediate uptrend. So that would be about 10 cents if we came back down. The blue line is our descending wedge pattern, which we broke through. So realistically what can happen is don't touch that blue line, and then we'll be off to the races again. Now this is important to notice that we are in a sustained uptrend on Trunk based on human sellers. Bertha has not been buying or burning, so that's good to see that we're in an uptrend. So you can see there is some heavy buy volume and some heavy sell volume, but overall we're trending up. So we have a floor of 9.6 or 9.7 cents per million, or not per million, 9.7 cents, and our floor is at 11 cents. So we're going to crab sideways until one of those things breaks. Eventually, it would be that 11 cents. So once we break that, which I think as soon as the rumor mill, as soon as we get that date of when Bertha is going to start buying, I think that we're going to run up to that 11 cents pretty fast. I think people are just waiting to find out when that happens. So if we're talking about prediction price for Christmas, I think we'll be back up to 11 cents by Christmas. 11 cents by Christmas. I think we'll be back.
There we go. We got a bullish prediction. I like it.
Yeah. So we're going to switch over to elephant.
You got the horns like a bull today, so I hope you got some bull predictions for us.
All right. Can you see this?
Yep, this is elephant.
Coming on the 1 hour chart. So you can see that we were in a sustained downtrend. That's this green line. So that's what we ultimately want to break. We want to break this with volume, and we want to back test it. So we want to back test it and then bounce off it. So right now we're in a sustained downtrend. We haven't broken. We actually made a new higher low right here at 20. We'll call it 30 cents per million. But then since then, which was on December 5th, we've been in a local uptrend. Now, what's important about this is we have had Bertha buying for almost a week now. So that local low was about the same time that we turned off Bertha buying. So with Bertha not buying, we're in a sustained uptrend currently, a local uptrend for the past week. That is super bullish for elephant. So if you were looking to DCA or you're waiting for the bottom, this is a prime reason of why the bottom is in, because the sellers that have been pushing the price down to that 30 cents per million, Bertha has been buying that entire time. So Bertha has been buying and supporting the price the entire time. Well, since Bertha has been turned off for the last week, we've been in a sustained uptrend, meaning that there's more human buyers than there are human sellers. So that's very important to know that in the 8 weeks previous, we sold off almost 60 trillion. The humans sold off almost 60 trillion of their bag, right? So now we've hit that diamond hand level, like we talked about last week and the week before. Where do we think the human diamond hands are? And we between 150 trillion and 175 trillion. Well, it looks like we were pretty close. It looks like it's about 185 trillion. So if we want a prediction on elephant Christmas, You know, we could be all the way up to, I definitely like the downtrend. We re-support the downtrend, and I'm gonna say 36 cents per million
You know,
by Christmas.
what I think will be interesting to see if you know, we have almost $1 million in worth of BUSD sitting in the the BUSD buyback treasury. Correct? Am I wrong on that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that extra $1 million sitting there, it's going to be interesting to see it whenever that gets you know, used to buy back Elephant. It'd be interesting to see if BT times that buyback with breaking that resistance and potentially, you know, adding that momentum to the upside.
So
Yeah,
how many days? How many days do
Sure.
you think we'll get back to that resistant line?
Let's see here. If we just follow the current trend, we would hit the resistant line on the 20th.
On the 20th?
So,
so yeah, right around Christmas, he could drop that down.
Yeah,
So,
that
yeah,
would help
so
prevent, you
just
know, like
following
you're mentioning, just keep the trend going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think there's some really cool things coming with Trumpet as well, with all those burns coming and minting. I think we're gonna see, like you mentioned, hit that 11-cent price ceiling, bust through that, have that sustained momentum. Have you know, a lot of people say that the burning at the start won't have much supply on the effect. Much effect on the supply, which is true. However, it's that sentiment is everything. The narrative is everything. Now people know that this is how this product works, and that instills confidence. People see it happening on chain. People, you know, and just etc. All good news comes piling in. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, that's 100% right, Zach. That's you know, with Trunk and Elephant trending up without Bertha supporting is huge for this ecosystem. That means that right now human sentiment is more bullish than they are bearish, which has been a real big surprise to me, because over the last 8 weeks, or actually 8 weeks prior, you know, to this last week, human sentiment has been selling every single day. Every single day they've been selling, you know, and I was just baffled whenever I realized that, you know, the humans sold 60 trillion over 8 weeks. 60 trillion, you know,
Yeah.
and we're still, you know, but we knew, like we talked about the last couple of weeks, we knew that at some point in time there's the true herd believers, right? That, like us, that have our bags and we're like, we're not selling. So, you know, we know where this ecosystem is going, and that's what we needed to hit. And so it's roughly that 185 trillion, like I said earlier.
And in that same time, as you're mentioning, as humans have given up their bag back to the LP, and Bertha has been continuously accumulating. All right, she's about to break 200 trillion. We're about to see her surpass her 212 trillion, her previous all-time high. So we'll see that get surpassed. And
when do you think that's going to happen?
It was for me, if I could throw my guess in the ring, right now it looks like she's eating about 2 trillion a week, and that's at these kind of you know, like we're saying, the sentiment isn't the best. So I could see if the sentiment picks up and we keep staying at these prices, you know, maybe 2.5 trillion a week. That would mean anywhere between if we need, what do we need, 16 more trillion, that'd be 8 weeks or less. So I'll be, you know, I think after January 1st, the new year starts, everyone's out of their holiday mode and season. They're back into new year, get my grind on. I think we'll see more aggression come into the market. And so I'm going to say 5 weeks. So with that being said, I think mid-January, we'll see a new all-time high for Bertha.
Ooh, that's aggressive, son. That's aggressive.
Yeah.
I was thinking about Valentine's Day.
It goes down to, you know, I think NFT minting is going to keep picking up. I think futures is still, you know, being right now, people might be claiming, or, you know, there's a lot of new deposits every day for futures, but people might be, like I said, saving money for holiday spending or other traveling expenses. So after all that calms down, I think we're going to see just more pressure. And, you know, Bertha's loving this. You know, you mentioned the last 8 weeks, or a month or two, you know, ever since end of September or so. Right. All this time, Bertha's just getting fatter and fatter. She didn't stop at things. She started before Thanksgiving, and she didn't stop afterwards either. Yeah.
So you're saying, like, early January, and go ahead.
I just think I think that plus the $1 million of buybacks, I think that's a 3 trillion already. So we're looking at 199 as we sit tonight. Roughly we're already at. So I just think all of that just pushes us forward, builds that momentum, and if we can break the downtrend like Goldwyn just showed us, we can break those kind of fear and greed. We turn back to a greedier sentiment. The momentum will start. And like we mentioned, just to reiterate, Trump being coming out, all of that is just adding to the ecosystem. So,
and Goldwyn, you said Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah, I think Valentine's Day. Right.
I'm gonna go
right before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, I'm gonna go February 1st.
Yeah.
January 30th through the 1st.
Yeah, that's for birthday breaking 212. Is that what you're guessing?
Yeah.
All right.
You know what's awesome is when Bertha breaks 212, we'll be at, you did 113 burpees yesterday, Zach?
Yeah, so that's funny. I kept wanting to bring that up. I did 113, and I've been getting ready to get back into my burpee kind of videos. I might go do a night session after this call, but I've been watching it for a long time. It's been staying at that 113 because, like you're mentioning, humans are giving it up, Bertha's buying it up, and so that's what I've been stuck at, 113. I'm gonna get some swole, get some gains, get ready. It's winter time. I should be bulking, but I'm still doing a lot of cardio. But this is the time to bulk up, and Bertha's bulking up too. But we're at 113 right now.
Okay, so that's cool. So we're at 113. So once we break all-time high, we'll be, if humans stay exactly where they are, we'll be under 100 trillion.
That's true.
Left in the LPs. So now here's what, once we start printing green candles from Bertha and she hits her all-time high, now we're at under 100 trillion. Now when the humans start buying again, because we know that's what they're going to do, that just drives us down even faster.
There's a great aha moment. Anyone watching or listening back in on this, think about that. She doesn't stop. You can look at the X times Y equals K. Bailey from EMH has posted charts. You can ask about them in the Telegram chat if you haven't seen them. But we know what the price will be based off of the quantity of tokens that exist in the LP. So just like what Goldwyn's mentioning, right? That's not that far away, whether it be middle of January, February, March. Oh, goodness, March. I have to wait for 10, 20, 30%. I don't know what it is on top of my head. Even if it's 10% price change, please let me know if you know any other quick 10% guarantee, highly probable occurrences. Let me know if you have any of them.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Well, let's get into news.
Let's go.
You ready, Zach?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, let's start it.
And now it's time for the latest news with Zach Minter on the Rugs to Riches show.
Everyone, to start off tonight, I wanted us to jump through this quick TikTok that was produced from the recent Art Basel trip in Miami-Dade County. Elephant Money sponsored the Boys and Girls Club to actually attend the event, and this was an opportunity for the students to take part in festivities, and they might have not been able to go to this cool art event. So this is just another outreach event that Elephant Money is about, right? Elephant Money is, each one teach one, and also about, providing, cash flow for all. So this is just another outreach opportunity to educate the public about the opportunity of Elephant Money. And also, like I said, help out these students who may have not got a chance to go to this event. So this is a really cool partnership. I'm looking forward to, 2024. I know there's a lot of other stuff on the docket. All of this spreads awareness, and like we talk about, right, earning these high PRs, making this money, that's awesome, but what are you going to do with it? It's only money until you actually use it to change someone's life. So it's really awesome to see this already getting started going into 2024. What do you guys think, Goldwyn and AG?
I personally think it's awesome. I know we couldn't hear that video, but one thing BT said is, when he was growing up, he spent a lot of time in the Boys and Girls Club of America. So I think it's really awesome that he's gotten to a point where he can donate back and go back. So that's what this world is about, right? It's unlike the scammers who are taking and taking and taking. It's good people that give back.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the idea of it, giving back to the community. But do you think it helps the ecosystem though?
Sure.
Yeah, for exactly the reasons we're discussing, right? If nothing else, it generates interest in hey, what is this elephant money thing? Hey, what they're sponsoring them to what, all of that is awareness and brand building and relationship building. A message that BT had mentioned while he was attending the conference, right? He made relationships just through networking at this particular charity event, which often happens as well. So I think all of these things, all together help build Elephant's Money image. In the short term, does giving out some t-shirts and taking some people to an awesome event, does that make short-term price change? No. But does it make long-term change? Yes, 100%.
I mean, it was in Miami. Okay, Art Basel is a very prestigious event with millions and millions of dollars flowing through it. So if just one person thought that it was cool that this dude sent some kids to Art Basel and just typed in elephant.money, that's all it takes, so that's, in my opinion, yes, it's not, and like Zach said, short term maybe not, but yeah, long term it's good. 100%.
And right, this means that we're getting invited back next year. It means we're getting invited to the next event. It means that you're now making relationship with other charities and so all of that is what, your network is your net worth. So the more we can network with, like we're talking about Miami, which is a crypto bustling hub, right? The more Elephant Money has connections and network, right? It just means that much more awareness for the protocol. So I always loved going above and beyond, and Elephant Money has proven that time and time again. And what other protocols do you know that are doing real world charity, real world give backs? I don't know any. I don't know about the Ethereum Foundation. Are they doing something? Maybe, but it's cool to start small. That's we're a grassroots organization, so everything we do is volunteer work. This is real people just giving back to the community. So I'm super bullish. I love this type of stuff, and I think a lot of investors do as well. That's kind of what I had for that. Any other thoughts? We can move on to the next story.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so this next one I got pulled up. I got right here about JP Morgan, two-faced, right? The typical JP Morgan style, right? While Jamie Dimon bashes Bitcoin, JP Morgan's crypto empire triples its head count. So we can see here that right now that JP Morgan already handles over $1 billion a day in blockchain transactions, despite being, publicly stating that blockchain and Bitcoin is for money laundering. So I guess that's what they're doing. He was just, what do you call it, projecting what he does, I guess, with it. But right here, Jamie Dimon just bashed Bitcoin again, saying that Congress should ban it. And right, there is a difference between blockchain, the technology, and specifically Bitcoin that utilizes blockchain technology. However, right, we see that they're also getting into this market of digital assets. So right here we can see it, but JP Morgan's digital assets unit has quietly tripled its headcount in the last 3 years. So right here, just another quote about Jamie Dimon. He hates Bitcoin, but loves enterprise blockchain. He's even intrigued by DeFi. So we can see here a guy who's, one of the most influential financiers of our time, right? He's even intrigued by DeFi. I think all of us are. That's why we're in this space. But right, it's here he's talking about called Bitcoin a terrible store of value in 2014. 2017 he'd fire anyone he found trading Bitcoin. So all of these things, and now we see years later that a lot of these talking heads are coming back on what they said, and they're actually starting to try to push for ETFs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think it was part of the plan from the very beginning.
Yeah, I think it's that old adage, if you miss the boat, you better swim. But if the bank misses the boat, they bring it back. So them flooding Bitcoin to short the price so they can buy more. It's it's same thing like with elephant money, right? If you sell your bag, Bertha's going to buy it. So
yeah, and I always joke. I said we probably should maybe become fudders. Let's just talk about elephant money. I don't know about that whole thing, and we can be like the bankers. That's what they do, right? And they're the all time.
Yeah, they're bringing it back.
Buying it up.
Yeah.
But we use our powers for good, unlike this young man right here. Moving forward, We have here volcano bonds. So El Salvador has given the green light for $1 billion worth of volcano Bitcoin bonds. So right here, they're starting it up in early 2024. Right here, he says this is just the beginning for new capital markets on Bitcoin in El Salvador. And right, this is just another part of their continuing push to make El Salvador a powerhouse in the cryptocurrency when it comes to, competing countries who are adopting this technology. And it just shows their government is, pro Bitcoin, which I can see a lot of other countries, developing nations, following this kind of monetary and Bitcoin adoption. I personally, can't buy a volcano bond, but if I could, I would. That'd be pretty cool to say, hey guys, I got a volcano bond.
We should look into it. All we need to do is pool our money together, get $1 million worth of Bitcoin. We then can get their passport, which will allow us to buy a volcano bond.
That's right.
That's right. That we can have, have it all. We'll be citizens on top of the volcano, making money underneath our feet.
Yeah. I like it. Our show. We'll make our show wallet then.
Yeah.
There we go.
This may all go down in history for better or worse, for betting El Salvador's financial future on Bitcoin and having huge success, which that's where my money's at. Or like we said, it somehow stagnates, their economy or something. We'll see. But
listen, can you? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
can you imagine, like when they started this, it was in a bear market, right? So when they made their first purchase, it was higher than it was now, right? They
correct. They're
think
just at break even over their whole buying. So
Yeah.
like you're saying, their first buy was higher than what it is right now.
So now just think next year, how much better off that country's going to be, right? Because that in the next 2 years, it's going to be 3 times higher than what they bought their first one at.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's huge.
The question is, how are they going to be spending that money, or are they going to be stockpiling it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really, off the top of my head, seen what their kind of decrees are for those funds. But I would doubt they're trying to trade it short term. It's probably something longer term fund. But
sure.
it just
I don't think it's actually going to help the economy there. I think they're going to stockpile it and hold it, and their citizens aren't really going to benefit from it. That's my opinion.
True. I mean, they gave every citizen that downloaded their national wallet Bitcoin.
Did they?
Yeah.
Or are you just pulling that out of your ass?
100%. I'm not pulling that out of my ass.
True.
It's 100% true.
How much Bitcoin did they get?
I mean, for
them, I'll pull up the story here. Let's see, El Salvador.
I mean, for us, it probably wasn't much, but for them, just to be handed, all they had to do is download the wallet, and they got, I think it was $100 worth, but to them, $100 is a lot, right?
Let's see here if we can find the story. Offered $30 of Bitcoin to citizens to boost its use.
There you go, $30. But still, I mean, $30 to them is 35. I mean, how much did the government give us during coronavirus, right? I mean, that's $30.
It's cool.
That's why I felt.
Okay.
Their Bitcoin wallet is called Chivo, which is slang for cool in El Salvador. That's cool. Chivo, yeah, they got cool money. I'm jealous. I want Joe Biden to give me $30 in Bitcoin in my own, my own little American wallet. It has a little American flag with a, like a little futuristic, like token looking American flag thing. I'm not using this crap. I'm using MetaMask. But no, let's see here. So yeah, I'm just bullish. I love following this, country's adoption. It's like it's seeing a pioneer go through, good and bad of being a, we know what it's like to be an individual investor in this market. Imagine being a country.
A country,
so,
that'd be crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, I still don't think it's going to benefit the citizens a whole lot, though.
Yeah, well,
I think it's a way to build up their economic status where they don't get sanctioned if they do something wrong or whatever, to be a bigger power. But the citizens there, I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's my take on it.
Yeah.
I mean, just like the COVID money that everyone got. I mean, where's that money at right now?
Mine's a big one. I mean, mine's in Celsius.
Yes, I was about to say mine's in Celsius too. But yeah,
mine got taken back and got left in Ukraine or something. I'm not quite sure. Or Afghanistan. One of those.
I think mine bought crack in Ukraine for someone's son.
They're just stockpiling it.
Don't sue me, bro.
All my work at Lockheed Martin they just took all my. Okay, anyway. Moving forward, right here, another. Speaking of awesome figures in the crypto space, after our talk about Do Kwon a couple weeks ago or last week, right here we have another individual, CZ, who the judge has now noted because of his enormous wealth, he is a flight risk. So he is he's telling him he needs to stay in the U.S. Prior to I believe his next court date is in February, late February 2024. So, CZ deemed a flight risk. Right here, February 23rd, he's facing a criminal sentencing. I personally am interested to potentially even maybe go to the sentencing. Maybe Goldwyn and AG will join me. You guys want to go see some crypto history in the making?
We could hold up a sign.
Where's it at?
That's a good question. I think his first trial was in Washington State. So I wonder if it's going to be at a similar spot.
I thought it was in San Francisco. No.
West Coast.
Yeah,
might have been too. Maybe this other one is in Washington. I heard something with Washington earlier, but yeah. So this is just another, like I said, another crypto titan. You never want to be the main character in crypto, right? Because if you are, your time's ticking, and they're coming after you some way or another. So
just be the boomer sitting in the back.
That's right.
If we do go there, maybe we can stop by and see CC Crypto Man. He lives over there, I think in Oregon, right?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I've thought about, on a side note, just doing a little U.S. world tour, not world tour, but U.S. tour to start, and go visit everyone in the U.S. and do a little elephant money, each one teach one throughout the country.
That'd be nice. That'd be fun.
Be fun. So don't become the main character. Keep your head down, make your money, and get out. Okay, moving forward. WorldCoin, this is another token. Sam Altman from OpenAI, they're involved in WorldCoin to a degree, and or they are involved. Right now, they're continuing to develop their token, and one of their latest updates is this integration with Shopify, Mercado Libre, Minecraft, Reddit, and Telegram. So what they're doing is allowing these other Web2 apps access to their kind of technology for user authentication and identification. So Shopify and Telegram, all of them, they have basically the tools that WorldCoin provides for user identification, and they get to choose how much of their tools they would like to use. So right here it mentions ranging from light to max. And WorldCoin made headlines. If you recall, they were giving out free WorldCoin if you scanned your iris. They had this eyeball.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
And you scan your eyeball, and they claim they don't save that biometric data. So they scan your eyeball, like you take a picture and you have a picture saved on your phone, right? They take a picture of your eyeball. So they say, hey, we just make a map of it, and now we have a proof that's your eyeball. And then they erase the image. They say, hey, we don't keep the data. We just make a little proof of it, and we don't really own we don't keep that. We don't want, we don't own that stuff. That's all yours. But obviously skeptics and critics say, hey, what if there's a hack or some sort of, exploit in which biometric data that you supposedly don't keep gets released or let go of? And that's, just continued criticism. I personally think it's an interesting idea. I'm not entirely sure to see how the public in general will adopt that. It's kind of like the most advanced KYC you can think of. More than a passport, a driver's license, a picture of yourself. They have a literal proof of your eyeball. So
I did that for. Have you ever heard of Clear?
Yeah, tell me about that. That's the one at the airport, right?
Yeah, well, you can use it for other things too. So Clear is kind of like a World Traveler, or like the thing you got for TSA pre-check.
Yeah, pre-check. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so Clear is like a step higher than that, and that's exactly what you do. They scan your retinas or your iris or whatever, and then all you do is you walk up, you put your eyes in the thing, it scans you, you walk right through, and you actually go ahead of TSA pre-check. I know that Colorado has it. They also have it for sporting events. So if you have sporting events that are doing like high level checking, you can, if it's clear, you just go to the clear line, they scan, and it has all of your KYC information in, and you're done.
So, that might be a, emerging industry, just as we continue to face uncertainties online and cybersecurity threats. Like, it seems like this technology is in demand. So, that might be a driving narrative for WorldCoin, as, we might have to be uploading our eyeballs to get our driver's license to go vote, to do this or that. Right. But
what do you think they do? Do you think that they're really checking your eyes when you're doing is that what you think? So when you put your eyes in there and you're reading the thing, you don't think they're reading you?
WorldCoin has defended the practice, claiming that it only stores the proof of the iris scan, but not the store of the scan itself. So it's basically creating a math problem out of what your eyeball looks like, and then that's saved in their database, not your eyeball itself, but the math problem. And then they scan your eyeball again. Does it equal the math problem? Yes, it does. Okay, so it's another just proofing mechanism.
What are you saying, Goldwyn? Are you suggesting that they're trying to read your thoughts by looking at your eyes? This guy looks shady.
I'm telling you that the DMV is already scanning your eyes when you push that little button to read line 3, so you can get your driver's license. Right? They're already scanning you. They already have all that stuff.
Listen, it's been a while since I've been to the DMV. I'm not your age where they have to check to see if I'm still able to drive.
Yeah, we don't know how to go in and do a little test drive every 6 months.
You will, motherfuckers. You will.
Yeah, I still don't get carded when I go to get a beer, or I still get carded, I should say.
Yeah, it's actually it was kind of messed up at the University of Georgia. One of the last years I was there, probably my junior or senior year, they introduced in the dining halls, right? You typically had a little credit card to swipe, for your meal pass, all that kind of stuff. And they introduced whereas now the iris scan, and same thing, I guess, as Clear uses. So I was like, that's pretty, I get it for security reasons, people trying to pass their card back, get people in and all that kind of stuff, abuse it. But, making people, something about the eyes are very, personal and like privacy. I don't want people to, so I don't want to take a picture of other parts of my body either and put them, have people have that data either. So I thought that was very strange to hold food back from people unless you gave your eye scan, permission. Very
Blade Runner-ish.
Black Mirror, exactly. But yeah. So
hey, before we go on, WorldCoin, wasn't that the one where that lady was pushing it so hard and it became a giant scam? Was that not WorldCoin, or was that OneCoin?
I know what you're talking about. I think OneCoin might have been that.
Was OneCoin.
Let's see if that was one. Fraudulent crypto scheme conducted by offshore companies OneCoin, in Bulgaria.
OneCoin. Okay, I thought it was WorldCoin. I was like, man, they're coming back like what was that other big Ponzi?
Like BitConnect or something like that.
BitConnect.
What's this bio wallet?
Bio wallet. So next up, what we got here on the list, Hitachi, and I'm not going to pronounce this correctly, but Concordium solution team up to develop biometric crypto wallet. So right here in this little image, right? Maybe could you see yourself, AG, maybe getting one for Christmas, a little biometric wallet? You got to put your thumbprint here, and that gives access to your wallet, opposed to other kind of hardware wallets.
No, I like that. That's basically what you're using for your iPhone.
Yeah.
You do Apple Pay or something like that.
Yeah. And right here it says they're trying to create, proof of technology for biometric crypto wallet. Right, the new wallet will allow users, to generate just using their fingerprint or facial scan. So yeah, that same kind of iPhone situation of giving you access to your phone.
Yeah, I mean, do you think this technology, like once they do that, then they'll just integrate with iPhones and stuff? Because they are. I mean,
Apple will probably buy them.
Yeah, that's probably a buy. Like you mentioned, they're creating the the technology itself and the ability to read and write. So yeah, once they get that kind of patented and that's their IP, they could exactly sell that or license it or have a token for it, and then that's what they use. So, but I definitely could see them selling out to bigger companies. So that could be something, for your crypto savvy friends and family members, and maybe just for mainstream adoption, right? Having where it's no longer this, kind of obscure flash drive thing or some, Google Chrome extension in your browser. You now have a physical wallet and that's your thumbprint to get in. So
do your fingerprints stay, like if I had my kids do that, their fingerprints in 30 years are the same? Is that how that works?
Yeah, it's like a zebra stripes. They don't change.
So
They get longer.
even though their hands get bigger or whatnot, it's the same. I guess it's still that math like Zach was saying about the eyes. It's like a math problem with your fingers.
Yeah, I think it's the same. I'm pretty sure, even as a child. And that's the thing. If I don't know about Goldwyn and I, we don't have too much experience with this, but I know AG running from the law, he might need to get some acetone and take care of those. But then he won't be able to get into his wallet to get his elephant money. So I mean, it's just his life's up. He's there nor here. So
just use your toe print, right, on your use your toe print on your wallet instead of your fingerprint.
Yeah, that you're the guy in line at the NFT event, and you got to take your shoe off to put against your toe to get in.
Like the TSA, I got to take my shoes off to get through the line.
You always wear flip flops.
Yeah.
Look, I like it. You're a practical guy. You always have a solution for everything, just like a biometric crypto wallet. Let's see. Moving forward,
Dirty cash.
Yeah, dirty cash. The ECB assesses environmental footprint of cash, sees room for improvement. So, as a crypto head, all the time I see Bitcoin's destroying the environment. It costs a gallon of gasoline to send a Bitcoin transaction. All of these FUD and truths, and Bitcoin use more electricity than the whole state of whatever Swaziland or something. And all of these kind of facts all miss the elephant in the room, which is traditional finance and the extreme amount of energy that is needed to run traditional finance. And so the European Central Bank here, right, they I guess they got a lot of free time on their hands. No, but they funded a study to see the impact of banknotes and discovered 16 environmental impact categories. So here it's just showing different kind of stats here about the usage of cash and just different things like that. But right, crypto miners, right, they're trying to have a new kind of narrative to them. So it's just something that progresses as technology develops. And I think a lot of the proof of stake networks will continue to shed the positive sides of using blockchain for financial applications, and opposed to using sort of kind of traditional finance.
Yeah, that was during COVID, man. It's cash is gone, dude. It's slowly but surely. When in COVID, they're like, "Oh, we don't have any coins." I'm like, "Why the hell wouldn't you have coins? Like, give me a break." They're just coming up with different reasons to convince people that cash is bad.
Yeah, so cash is king, baby. I like stable coins too. Stable coins are king, baby. Also, we've got the infamous developer and promoter of the Hex and Pulse Chain network, Mr. Richard Hart. It seems like the only news I hear about him is FUD. He reminds me of CZ, but when I hear his name come up in the news, it's never a good thing. Thankfully, CZ, hopefully his condemnation has come down. Well, on February 23rd, it will. But Ricky here, he seems to be always on the move. So right here, the SEC serves a suit to the evasive Richard Hart in Finland, but not in person. So somehow an alternative method was used, but the process servers were unsuccessful. So Pulse Chain ecosystem, I'll pull that up right now. This is another blockchain network, and EVM. Is it EVM considered? I'm not even quite sure.
I mean, they cloned the entire Ethereum network.
Yeah.
Right. So if any Ethereum coins you had in your wallet, you had mirrored tokens on Pulse Chain.
Oh, I bet freaking All Things ETH is loaded with Pulse Chain
Oh yeah, that would have been a good question to see if he's got any airdrops or if he was able to use the cloned ETH to use any of that liquidity.
Yeah, I wonder because it was supposed to be the same, you know. But
so yeah, and overall, this might be a just my 2 cents real quick about Pulse Chain and Hex. I could see myself continuing to watch Pulse Chain. They have a huge community that are all basically wrecked right now. So if somehow there is positive activity and adoption, and when the bull run heats up, if somehow Pulse Chain is also heating up, that would be something I look into, just because of the Lindy effect and because of the network effect and because of this community is years in the making, and they have that cult leader being Richard Hart.
I don't
But
know,
as it
man.
stands now, it's just with Rick, they just came out with that documentary as well. I don't know if you guys heard about that. I forgot what it was called, but it was like about Richard Hart and Hex.
No, I'd heard of it, but I don't remember the name. It's on Netflix.
We're giving it free airtime, which is what he wants. Let's see.
Yeah, dude, that guy's gonna go the way of Saint Bankman-Fried. He's gonna get. You think that the.
You think?
Oh heck yeah, dude, he's gonna get crushed.
I'd really like listening to Richard Hart's like kind of old streams. A lot of his wisdom for crypto is super solid. And I think that's why he got such a large following and ultimately led them into where they are today. And so with that being said, there's a lot of things to learn from him, just like there are for all of these people. They're just people. They're not good or bad. They're just people. Some of them are bad. Don't get me wrong. They are bad. But I kind of agree with you, Goldwyn. Whenever these authorities catch up to him, whatever jurisdiction he's in, I mean, I can't see them being light on him. And just a little birdie, I have a family friend of mine, and family member, second cousin kind of thing, who's big in he's a Hexican, big in the Hex network. He actually got to meet Richard Hart. I think he was in Portugal and got to meet him. And this was one of the last times he told me that Richard Hart, when he got to meet him, he told him that I'm never coming back to the United States. And I think that's telling. I mean, you don't ever want to be on any country's bad side or no inter. I mean, like, I mean, that's not, you're not doing anything, I don't know, above the line, just to say the least. But
I think that he was an extremely smart dude that was in the right place with Bitcoin and all that stuff. But deep down, he was a marketer. Like, he was I don't want to say scammer, but he talks, right?
A promoter. He was a promoter.
He was a promoter, right? He was a promoter that had a technical background, so he could understand the technical side of Bitcoin and why it was good and what it was, and maybe ways to improve it. But because he sold it so much the opposite direction, that man, I don't know. I'm just saying. I think if they ever catch up to him, we'll see. There's a country somewhere that'll be like, no, just come over here.
Yeah, one thing that I thought too, when I got into, even before I knew about Bank Teller, I was like, what's up with these guys with these top hats? I was like, I'm staying away. There's a guy with a top hat on. That reminds me of some like 1800 circus, like, hello everyone, come around. Like,
and I mean, I think the not cool thing, one of the things I can say about Richard Hart is that he was honest about it. He's like, no, I completely promoted it like a scam. Because that's the he said, I promoted it as a scam to get more money in. He's on record saying that, and I just think he thought that if he had enough money, he could just do whatever he wanted to, and I think that his persona with showing all these watches and all that, that such a bad.
All of that was so ridiculous to me, but it worked. Like you said, his genius of it is that it works. He knows how to market. He knows how to promote. And I agreed. It sounded kind of silly when he had millions of dollars of watches or cars and try to use that as, it works, I guess, on the internet. You stand in front of a cool car, people are like, oh, tell me how to live my life. I guess it works.
I mean, that's who's that bald guy? That's the Andrew Tate effect.
Oh, Andrew Tate. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all went to the same high school together, and they all Share this. No, I'm just kidding.
That was actually a George Carlin skit. Did you ever hear that in like 1980 when they were talking
I love
about
George Carlin. I'm not sure about
my
that
gosh,
one though. I gotta see it. Yeah.
So he was on stage and they were saying how elections are rigged. He's like, no, elections aren't rigged. He's like they don't have to rig elections because they all went to the same college. They all live in the same country club. So all of their promotions are all aligned. They don't have to say, let's do this, because they know that if we do this, it's good for all of us.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we'll see. It'll be a hell of a redemption arc if he's somehow able to pull Hex and Pulse Chain out of the depths of the bear market and into the glory of the bull. Like if he's,
is he still coding?
What's that?
Right? I mean, is he still coding? Is he trying to push the chain forward? I mean, is the chain complete? I guess that's the problem because I just don't know anything about it.
I don't think I think he's just the face of it, but there's a team behind it, I believe.
I don't think so. I think that
he's not the programmer. He has a team. He's not the head programmer.
I thought he was a developer back in the day too, though.
No, maybe back in the day, but Pulse Chain is he's got a team behind him.
And even here, it's funny that I'm here on CoinGecko. I just scrolling down categories. What category they put this one in? Alleged SEC securities. That's funny.
That's funny.
Oh no, I see BNB on there. Oh no.
Oh jeez.
Is Elephant on there? Scroll down to 4,000 where they have us listed. Voyager.
Yeah, just interesting.
I actually got Voyager. I actually got all my money off of Voyager before it collapsed.
Oh, that's huge. W. Yeah, rest in peace, Voyager.
They got BUSD on there.
Oh yeah,
Filecoin's on there.
Yeah, this is a list you don't want to be on. Polygon, Tron.
All of them. Crazy. Come on now.
Yeah, we'll see where people draw the line. They don't even know what the hell a blockchain is still. Like, I seriously would love to just sit down with like one of these, politicians or lawmakers, just be like, hey, I know you have to vote on this crypto and blockchain and token stuff. Can we just like talk real quick? And I'll just ask them like, what is the difference between a coin and a token or something like that? Just like tell me 2 layer 1 blockchains, or tell me another token besides Bitcoin, another coin.
Yeah.
Just
name any token not in the top 10.
Yeah, exactly. Just literally
just one.
Just one. But maybe I'm too, because it's just when I hear them make comments and stuff, it just shows the lack of understanding and lack of, I know they have kind of researchers and people who fill them in and write briefs and stuff, but I mean, I don't think those guys know either. I mean, it's weird. It's very weird. Yearn Finance, another blue chip DeFi, since 2017, 2018 has been around, has captured a ton of value, provided a ton of yield. Unfortunately, right, no one is immune to these sorts of things. Yearn Finance says faulty script wiped out $1.4 million from their treasury, right?
Oh my God.
Isn't that crazy? Bad code right here. That's been audited, I'm sure. That's whatever.
See, that's what scares me about freaking Elephant, to be honest with you. We're getting audited.
Share your thoughts. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just like that. The code looks good until it's not. What? How do you? You can't predict it. It scares me.
Is it something that's been old and now something new has found a way to tag it? Do you think? I mean,
so if we go into some details here, you can see, right, the yield farming protocol said the faulty multi-sig script wiped out 63% of a position in its treasury. No user funds were affected. So it seems that as if it was faulty code within their contract itself. So, so back to just kind of the big picture, right? Until it's been time-tested code, and it's basically been audited and looked over by a bunch of people. We're in this emerging industries, that there's going to be these attacks, hacks, exploits. We were just talking to All Things ETH a moment ago. Axie Infinity, he mentioned that they had a multi-billion-dollar exploit. It was billion, I think it was 1.4 or something. And that was by Lazarus, the North Korean hacker group. They stole $1 billion. North Korea stole a bunch of nerds' video game money and is using it to build, weapons of mass destruction. So this is the reality we live in with this emerging financial technology. And, you know, like you're saying, it can scare you. I can say all this to scare you and make you not want to invest in crypto. And I hope I do good to stay out, because, you know, you should have a very soft step and, you know, walks, you know, you got to have your high alert if you're in these markets. It's not a game. This is a financial market. So just to answer your question though, yeah, nothing is safe until it's proven itself. And that's what I was going to mention, something like elephant money. Right, we have stuff like Bertha and stuff like the LP contracts that are time tested and keys are already burned, not yet for Bertha and such. But that's the key, is to get to a point where I guess you don't have these openings, you don't have these back doors, you don't have these potential vectors of attack. So that's a long-winded way to say is, you know, take caution and don't overinvest, and
I think the big thing with elephant
get involved in things that are proven and time tested. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I think the big thing with why BT wants to get rid of the keys is because once we get to a point where it is that, where it's steady state and it's working, and we know that it's doing its, you know, flywheel, then the longer it goes, that things don't have to, because that's what happened. Like this past front run, you know, I don't want to call it an exploit because that's not what it was. We were front run, but we were front run because he was changing some code, right, that turned off the auto buy, and because he took off the buy button from the humans on the UI, but didn't take it offline. Now what happened was, as that built up, then whoever ran the front run against the LP pool pushed the button. So he knew right when to send that money in. Well, he front ran it. And actually I already deleted it, or I already turned them off, but you can see it on the Elephant LP, where that big spike of momentum came in. They put $5,000 in over 5 minutes into the LP, and then front ran it, you know, and then sold, you know. And so, you know, all these people saying, oh, we were exploited, we lost this. No, someone front ran the purchase. That happens every single day on the Wall Street, you know, on Wall Street. When you buy, somebody's front running you. 100%.
Yeah.
That's what slippage is.
No, you're right.
That's what slippage is.
It's just a shame that it happened. But I'm
blessed a shame, and that's something I want to bring up to the attention of our audience as we go week to week. Is unfortunately this is going to be a reoccurring story in our kind of news headlines, is these hacks and exploits. And what it should teach us is we should try to take a lesson learned from each time. So if one, I would say for this one, right, this was a team error usage, no user funds were lost. And thankfully Yearn is a rather large protocol. So I'm not quite sure how they're going to compensate that particular pool. But I guess the lesson learned would be to, you know, follow and actively follow the projects where your money's at, because here they disclosed it after the incident happened. And really, I guess, look for the protocols that have proven themselves after exploits to, you know, find which ones will, you know, stand the test of time.
What is this? Need a job? Is that Goldwyn?
Hey, need a job. So this, anyone,
Goldwyn,
I guess.
You look like Bad Santa. I've been wanting to say that for a while.
Dude, I love that movie. Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a line in there. He's all like, "You're not going to poop right for a week."
That's good.
I love that movie. Billy Bob Thornton.
If you need some extra cash these holidays, to buy some trunk and put into trumpet before it pumps, man, maybe you should go and go to the local mall down the street and
let's do a comparison.
Fun fact: I was 17 years old.
There you go.
I had just left home, so I left my parents, my dad, when I was 17. I was working 3 jobs at the time. One of them was the Easter Bunny at the mall. So I was legit the Easter Bunny at the mall.
You were the Easter Bunny,
awesome.
huh?
Yep.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. So full circle. If this whole crypto charting thing, you know, if you draw a bad line one day, you can always go and you got a place at the mall.
Yeah.
See. But no, just right here, this is another bullish news, right? This is how I like to think about the market, right? Is to not just look at the Bitcoin price. Don't just look at the amount of or Coinbase or crypto.com downloads in the App Store. Don't just look at Twitter sentiment. Don't just look at YouTube count views. Don't just look at Discord activity. Don't just look at, right? You got to take all of this comprehensive kind of, take it all in to make your decisions, is one way I like to look at it. But here was some good news. Blockchain.com is increasing their headcount by 25% next year. So it's they're not a multi-thousand person company or anything. It's just a few hundred people, because right here they currently employ about 300 people. But that does not, but that shows the growing industry and the growing demand for talent. Right, they raised another $110 million in funding. We've seen a lot of shakeout in the market, whether it's companies retreating or being distracted because of regulatory pressures and such, right? They're looking to, take this moment and be aggressive with it, which is something I think Elephant Money is also kind of doing as well, which is growing in a bear market, right? That's something these other companies aren't doing or other dApps aren't doing. So right here, it also says the company's decision to try and tackle new markets comes as Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, has seen its dominance slip, and US-based Coinbase is making inroads to expand internationally. So right, they're trying to come up in the fight as well. So if you're looking for Goldwyn, go work for the blockchain.com.
Nice. It slipped because the U.S. has banned them. That's the only reason why that's the only reason why their dominance has slipped.
Very good point there. So it's kind of, if the market is being cornered from regulation, then why not go take some of it? So right here, it's just saying, it's been an incredible opportunity to take market share. There's probably 60 to 70% less competition right now than there was at the end of 2021. I totally agree. It probably even more because, I as a person who's going into now, I guess this is my third full cycle, third and a half. I don't know. I got to look back on my time scale now, but it's like this whole story of the crypto market is going to happen again. Wise businesses like them are getting in position. People like us who are growing this channel, trying to get quality crypto content out, right? We see this is coming in the future and in the front view mirror. So, in the front of us. But it's good to see. It makes me excited. Moving forward too, we have our favorite, U.S. politician, Mr. Gensler here. Right? SEC Chair Gary Gensler doesn't want to talk about crypto securities. I haven't seen him talk about it yet. It seems every time he's questioned about it, he always, I wish I was that good at, how can people just talk? I guess I'm doing it right now. They just kind of talk around a point. They kind of just don't, and they don't, and they go, and then they end the question. Like, how do they do that? I don't get it. Like, he doesn't answer. Is it a security? Is it not? Have you guys made a decision about what you're going to define as, right? Is the Howey test still going to be applicable? Are we going to use that? That's still what they use it. But all it's to say is that Gensler continues to be ambiguous, and the SEC still doesn't have clear defined structure.
How does that dude still have a job?
Dude,
like, how does that guy still have a job?
There's got to be some other voice or boss behind him that's pulling the levers and the strings, because literally before he got on, he was pro crypto at the university that he was teaching at,
MIT.
MIT. Yeah. And then now he's like, he won't even define what this is, what's a security and what's not. And it just comes down to I think there's someone in a black suit telling him what to say. Listen, this is what you're going to say. This is what we're going to do. And you get to keep your job. That's my conspiracy, but I don't. Yeah. No, I don't get it.
I totally agree with you, AG. Like, look how close he was with SBF, meeting very closely with them, and they were building regulation together that was quite against a lot of the interest of native DeFi users and such. And it seemed that they were drafting legislation to almost allow FTX to have some sort of monopoly or competitive advantage as a crypto company in the US. So it just, like you said, it's black and white that there's all these all this evidence as to the lack of performing in his job. And then on top of that, it's like he met with Bernie Madoff for, months, and they had meetings together and drafted things together. I mean, it's crazy. Like, it seriously does beg the question, like, how does he have that job?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it comes out that he was on Epstein's, or what's his name? Epstein's
Epstein's
island?
Black Book list or
Epstein's,
something.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope he's not. Yeah, but yeah, man, he's definitely protected. Like you said, he's still some sort of political connection and protection. Yeah, not just it's just so baffling.
I mean, talking about this conspiracy theories and all that stuff, like it baffles me in 2023 with how fast information can fly around the world that information can still be squashed so easily. Like, like Epstein, like we everybody knows how bad this island was, and that there's a book that has flight logs and all. Everybody knows that, yet it's not news. Like,
yeah,
how that's crazy to me.
That's right.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
and
There's
how he
don't understand.
committed suicide in prison.
Yeah,
no, he was murdered.
No.
The guards were asleep. The video cameras were broken.
Yeah, cameras were off. The guards were, missing during the time.
It's gonna be a meme of our generation until we're old and gray, and maybe we'll still, it's kind of people who waited to hear about JFK. They wanted to know what, and there's still so many questions and so little answers and so many ideas. But
I watched that documentary on JFK, and I'll tell you what, man, there's a second shooter for sure. Like, what was the documentary called? It's something like What the Doctor Said.
Is it the magic bullet?
No, yes, yeah, something like that. But I think the show was like
they showed the flight path of how the bullet had to go to hit 4 different people.
Yeah, no, they interviewed the doctors that saw Kennedy when they went into the hospital, and they're like, yeah, he had a like a 1-inch wound right here, and an exit wound in his back. And then they said that he had a like a dime size wound right here, a hole, and the whole back of his head was just blown open. And they had pictures. They had pictures of it, and I saw it, and I was like, "Oh, I can't believe that's on television right now." But it was on Paramount Plus. That's what it was, Paramount Plus. Where I saw it. Yeah, so it wasn't. But I was blown away.
So how is he shot from behind with the exit wounds in the back of his head?
Exactly.
Tune in our special Patreon stream to find out AG's revealing the truth of the JFK assassination.
Yeah, so there's definitely more to that story.
Yeah. Other big news today: the Fed announced they're not going to make a rate change or a hike or a cut. Right here it says, Bitcoin's price increased by almost 3% on Wednesday as the Federal Reserve held interest rates at the current range of 5.25 to 5.5 as expected. And it also looks like the major stock indices made gains as well from the announcement. So
that's the first time, right, in a while that it hasn't raised.
I don't think it raised.
I think this is the I'm not sure the last meeting what their stance was. Do you know, AG?
No, I feel like they paused rate hikes last month too.
I thought the last one went up 2.5.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But overall, it seems like here they're mentioning, they're saying, tighter financial and credit conditions for households and businesses are likely to weigh on economic activity, hiring, and inflation. But the recent indicators suggest that growth of economic activity has slowed from its strong pace. So it just seems that they're like, not hot nor cold, that we're both having, low unemployment, but, it's still having some questions of inflation.
The rumor is that we'll have 3 rate cuts this coming up year, 2024, 3 or 4. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
some people are saying that's going to cause a market crash. But
what?
I have this very, it's not founded in a lot of, deep analytics of traditional finance, but it just seems, from an outsider looking in, just a lot of house of cards and propping up and fake evaluations. And it just seems that, I don't know, like you're saying, I'm not sure what's going to happen first. Housing, stock, something's got to, maybe not, maybe we can keep inflating
the dollar.
And we just keep going all up, only up. But it just seems very strange, the current economic situation, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But hey, if they said things are looking better than they have been, then I'll take their word for it for now.
They must know.
They must know. And our final story of the night, want sex? Yes, you do. So
Yes, I do.
yes, you do. This is Mr. Elephant right here. Just like most into the nights, right? When closing out talking about sex. So Elephant is looking sexier all the time. So please don't censor me, YouTube. Don't give us a strike. I'm talking about the CEX, a centralized
CEX.
exchange, and the announcement in which Trunk, the Trunk token from the Elephant Money ecosystem, is on the way to appearing on some DeFi apps, but also sexes as well. What's really cool about a centralized exchange is the awareness it brings to tokens. Typically, when it gets listed on an exchange, there's often more volume that occurs because of its new access to a new audience. So, and what often happens as well is success on one smaller sex will allow you more merit to apply and get adopted, and they come begging you, hey, we want your volume, we want your your transactions happening on our exchange. So it's kind of like a rolling snowball. So there's another good point here. All of the money in DeFi is barely a drop in the ocean compared to the sales volume of a sex can provide. So with that being said, another big part of Trunk's evolution is it's now having a deflationary burn component to it, making it a deflationary token, and also that $1 price cap, as it previously had, is now blown off. So there is no limit to the heights it can reach. So the listing on sexes, the deflationary tokenomics, and then Bertha buying it off of the market, all of these are making Trunk look like a very lucrative opportunity right now. Not financial advice. This is something I'm personally currently trying to load up more. I really liked Stampede a few years ago when it was up and running. I really liked futures. I got involved in DeFi for passive cash flow. So right now, getting Trunk at this, it's kind of like getting a pre-sale token that has already proven itself and already has a huge community behind it. Right now, you're getting the opportunity to invest in a token that can not only increase in value on the X component, but also the Y component. If you stake your Trunk, if you take your Trunk and you mint Trumpet with it, Trumpet is the staking contract on Elephant Money's website. So not only can you enjoy the price appreciation, getting if you will, the X axis, it's also getting taller as well, the Y axis as well, as Trumpet goes up from people minting and redeeming their Trunk. So what do you guys think about Trunk's newest kind of updates? I know we talk about it a lot, but it's so exciting. I mean, we're going to talk about it next week too, I know.
Does it say anything about when they're going to be listed?
That's information here in this article that it doesn't mention, and I don't believe that Bank Teller or any other Elephant Money communication has announced that yet. In this article, like I mentioned, I don't recall seeing it. I'm not sure, Goldwyn, have you heard anything about any particular timelines for any of Trunk or Bertha or stuff like that?
No, I know that BT had mentioned that that'll be worked on as soon as the contracts are buttoned up. So he put I don't think it was a voice message, but I think it was in Telegram. Someone asked him about the central exchanges, and he said that's the next step. So he's going to get all the governance contracts buttoned up and get them back online, and then the next step is centralized exchanges.
So do you think they'll have it done by the end of the year?
Probably not.
Yeah, just from the little note I heard is, Bank Teller's since there is a lot of moving parts changing this, I think he's really battle testing all of the new code right now as we speak. So I don't, I hope he doesn't do it this month. I hope he gives me more time to DCA. But it is in works and it is being, like we talked about, audited, back tested. I'm not sure if it's being audited previously to launch, but I know it will be. But yeah, I think that's the kind of future outlook over the next 30 days or so.
So here's a question for you. I've got $500 ready
burning
to
a hole in your pocket.
Burning a hole in my pocket, guys. But I need to know, should I buy Trunk or, hear me out, should I buy BNB because the price is $1 or $250 right now? And next year the price could be over $300. and we're moving away from BUSD for futures. So you got to use the BNB. So I'll get more BNB for my bang for my buck right now if I start dollar cost averaging into that.
So
yeah, I need to know where's my money going.
What do you
I'm
think?
not going to tell you what to buy.
Yes, you are. I'm asking you.
I'm not going to tell you what to buy. My point is last week Cardano went up 30%. This week AVAX is going up some stupid amount because why the hell would AVAX go up? Solana went up. Solana's been going up. XRP went up. So Bitcoin or BNB is the only one that really has. BNB is the only top 10 coin that's still down for the year. It's down 30% for the year. So it can go up 30% and just be back to normal, be back to level. So, that's not a bad idea, to be honest with you.
I agree. It's BNB is such a, it's had so much FUD, such a dark cloud over it, and I don't know, for myself, I believe that black cloud has now been lifted and such, but the market itself has not reacted as such yet. So, I mean, I think that's definitely a great contrarian trade right there, is to, maybe go heavier into BNB right now. Myself personally, I'm just trying to get my, calculated, I can calculate what my cash flow is per month. So I have kind of targets. So like, that's what I enjoy, is like seeing myself progress closer to those targets. But no, that's definitely a reasonable trade, I would argue, to just buy some BNB and hold. It could go down the other way too. Don't forget that.
Yeah.
But if he's DCAing,
well,
if he's DCAing now, if it does go down, I mean, that is quite possible. I mean, like I said earlier with the Bitcoin and Ethereum, it looks like it is heading back towards that support or resistance level, whatever we want to call it. So, over the next month or so, it could go down. But, XRP jumped, 100% once the SEC that finally got resolved and said it was. So that jumped 100%. I don't think that BNB is going to jump 100%, but we know the BNB should be at least 400, 450. So, that's almost 100% at this point.
Yeah. Very interesting to see, very exciting ending 2023. I don't know if you guys remember what the end of 2022 was like, but it did not have this sort of feeling in the air of the market. So it's very exciting for someone who is a crypto head, moving forward into this next year. I'm sure we're going to have a ton of things to talk about, ton of cool stories. So make sure you guys like and subscribe if you haven't already, because we're going to be bringing you all the best alpha. I mean, what, you're going to go listen to BitBoy or someone try to feed you some alpha? Forget that. Here's the spot. Rugs to riches. All right. This is where you'll get the good diet, find out the good information, and learn about a thing or two about crypto and DeFi.
That's right. All right, guys, it's getting late, so we're gonna let you enjoy your Christmas night, I should say, since it's no longer Christmas Day. This should be
Green Giant.
Green Giant. How old are you, man? That's some old school stuff.
I'm old.
I can tell. All right, guys. You guys be blessed, and remember, each one teach one. And we'll see you next Monday. Are you guys going to say anything?
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Each one teach one. Bye.